I never saw it coming, not in a million years. 5 years into our marriage, my wife and I decided it was time to start a family. We'd been through the usual ups and downs, but overall, things were good, great even. Well, that's what my mind told me. After a year of trying, we found out that conceiving naturally wasn't in the cards for us. It was a blow, sure, but we picked ourselves up and started looking into adoption. The process was grueling. Mountains of paperwork, home studies, interviews, and background checks. But we were in it together, supporting each other every step of the way. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we got the call. A birth mother had chosen us. We were going to be parents. The feeling of being a dad was exciting and scary at the same time. We started preparing the nursery, buying tiny clothes, and dreaming about our future as a family of 3. Then, 2 weeks before we were set to finalize the adoption, my world changed for the worse. It started with a text. I was at work when my phone buzzed. My wife had sent a message, but it wasn't meant for me. It was clearly intended for someone else, someone she was referring to as babe. And the text said, "Are we still meeting tonight?" I was like, what the hell? I don't understand. If you're cheating on your spouse, why would you make a colossal mistake like that? Do your due diligence and make sure you send it to the right person. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. My stomach dropped. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a mistake. Yeah, right. Not a mistake. Calling someone babe and asking, "Are we still meeting tonight?" Maybe she was texting her sister or a close friend. But deep down, something told me it just didn't feel right. The pit in my stomach told me everything I needed to know. I confronted her that night. I told her, "Don't fucking lie to me. I wasn't taking any crap from her." She denied it at first. Finally, after hours of back and forth, she broke down and confessed. She'd been having an affair for the past 6 months. 6 months. Half a year of lies, of sneaking around behind my back while we were in the middle of the adoption process, while we were preparing to bring a child into our home. The betrayal was staggering. I felt like I was drowning. How could she do this? How could she look me in the eye day after day, knowing what she was doing? And how could she go through with the adoption, knowing she was living a lie? I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. All I could think about was how our entire life together suddenly felt like a sham. And then there was the child, this innocent baby who was about to be caught in the middle of our mess. After days of agonizing, I made the hardest decision of my life. I told my wife I wanted to back out of the adoption. I didn't expect him to go in any other direction. Backing out of the adoption is probably the only logical move. She was furious. She accused me of punishing an innocent child for her mistakes. But I couldn't shake the feeling that bringing a baby into our home right now would be a disaster. How could we provide a stable, loving environment when our marriage was in shambles? I reached out to our adoption agency and explained the situation. They were understanding but disappointed. I felt like the world's biggest asshole, letting down not just the birth mother, but this child who was about to become ours. The guilt was crushing, but the alternative? Trying to fake a happy family while dealing with the fallout of my wife's affair seemed even worse. In the weeks that followed, I oscillated between rage, grief, and numbness. My wife begged for forgiveness, swearing it was over and that she'd do anything to make it right. But the trust was shattered. Every time I looked at her, all I could see was the lies. Yep, a lot of people will say, "Oh, just forgive her. She made one mistake." Okay, forgive her. What happens if she cheats again? Not everyone has a forgiving heart, especially when the trust has been broken. I moved out, crashing on my brother's couch while I tried to figure out what to do next. My wife called constantly. I mean, she was relentless. She couldn't believe I was throwing away our marriage over one mistake. But it wasn't just one mistake. It was months of deception, of consciously choosing to betray me while we were in the middle of the most important decision of our lives. How could I ever trust her again? Friends and family were divided. Some thought I was overreacting, that marriage can survive infidelity if both partners are committed to working through it. I wonder what these so-called friends and family would do if they were in his shoes. Do you think they would still feel the same way? Others were firmly on my side, appalled that she would cheat while we were in the process of adopting. I went to therapy, trying to sort through the mess of emotions. The therapist helped me realize that my decision to back out of the adoption wasn't about punishing my wife or the child. It was about recognizing that I wasn't in a place emotionally or mentally to be a good parent right now. As the weeks turned into months, the fog of shock and betrayal started to lift. I began to see things more clearly. Yes, my wife had made a terrible mistake, but our marriage had problems long before the affair. We'd both been unhappy, but instead of addressing it, we'd thrown ourselves into the adoption process, hoping a child would fix what was broken between us. It was a hard pill to swallow, realizing that I'd been complicit in ignoring the cracks in our foundation. But it also helped me find some compassion for my wife, even as I knew our marriage was over. 6 months after D-Day, I filed for divorce. It wasn't an easy decision, but I knew it was the right one. We tried counseling, but the trust was too far gone. Every time she was late coming home or got a text, I felt sick to my stomach. That was no way to live. The divorce process was messy and painful. We fought over the house, the savings, even the dog. Unfortunately, I ended up paying her alimony for 17 months for $1,300 per month. Now that sucks. She cheats, and he still must pay alimony. I am assuming this is a no-fault divorce state. Looking back, I still struggle with guilt over backing out of the adoption. I hope that child found a loving home with parents who were ready and able to provide the stability they deserved. But I know in my heart that bringing a baby into our broken home would have been a mistake. It's been a year since the divorce was finalized. I'm slowly rebuilding my life, focusing on my career, enjoying doing things I neglected during my marriage. I'm not ready to date yet, but I am hopeful that someday I'll find someone I can trust completely. As for my ex-wife, last I heard, she was still with the guy she cheated with. Part of me hopes they're happy together. The rest of me hopes he cheats on her so she knows how it feels. I'm not proud of that part, but I'm working on it. I still think about the child we almost adopted. I hope they're happy, loved, and thriving wherever they ended up. And I hope that someday, when I'm healed and ready, I'll get another chance of being a father. But this time, I'll make sure I'm on solid ground first. So, am I the asshole for backing out of the adoption? I don't really think I am. She cheated, and I wasn't bringing a child into a fake marriage. I think I made the best decision I could in an impossible situation. And I must believe that in the long run, it was better for everyone involved, especially that innocent child who deserves so much better than what we could have given them. Well, I have nothing bad to say. His wife confessed to cheating on him. Amidst the adoption process, he filed for divorce and went on with his life. That's a perfect scenario, but it doesn't always happen like that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.